Okay, so following our discussion today, I decided to continue the experiments with imbuing my Neros. By the way, I prepared a couple of syringes, like 5 syringes here or 6, so I have new stuff to deal with. So the experiment will concentrate in first energizing the Neros, and second, make them work according to a model and not by copying a carcass of a living thing, of a bug. Now, I mean, it's not that I don't want to. I mean, working with carcasses was very useful, and we learned a lot from it, but there are several, and I'm sure I'll continue to do it, but there are several limitations. And the first one is that, I mean, the best results, I've got the best results without a doubt from one of the slides with the dead fly. I think it was the second dead fly. And it's still, I mean, there is still action in this on the slide, even though it's like 15 days now, 15 days old. And I mean, you can see amazing stuff going over there, but the problem is that it's a little too messy. I mean, there's a ton of stuff over there. It's like a huge painting of, I don't know, of hell. I mean, there's like a dead fly with all sorts of limb in all sorts of places, and you don't know, I mean, whether it's his limb that was just dislocated because, I mean, he died, or maybe in rotten, or maybe, I mean, the Neros dislocated his limbs, and maybe it's not his limb, but fake limbs that the Neros, I mean, replicated, because there are, I mean, far too many limbs over there. It's really, it's a ghoulish scene from, like, I don't remember, there were many painters along the years, like the theme of hell, and paintings of hell, and it looks something like that, and it's so, I mean, and there's a ton of Neros and yellow pools with and without them, and it's too difficult to understand what's going on, and I want to make it a little bit simpler, even though, so, and I do know that for a fact, I know that the Neros have memory. I mean, whether it's their, I mean, individual memory, or more likely they have a way to communicate with each other and share memories. We know, I mean, it's obvious that they have memories because you've seen them painting not only viruses, but let me remind you, quite a bit of paintings of germs. Even some of them were in tremendous resolution. I don't know if you noticed that, but there was one, like a very grayscale with many objects that are, I mean, they are germs. I mean, 100% in exquisite resolution, which is one of the more amazing. I mean, there is so much material to work with, and I can't. I mean, I'm really drowning in amazing material that, I mean, could be analyzed for years now. And I mean, only now I uploaded another video this day with the 70-something new photographs of their paintings, of their sculptures, and of course I can upload, if I wanted, I could upload such a video with 70 new photographs every day to YouTube. I mean, so of course, I mean, they're like it's easy. They're easy to scale. You just need to create more slides, and they work very hard. But what I want to do now is to be able to focus, to try to make them paint, or better, maybe even to make a sculpture, or best, actually revive something specific. So for that purpose, and the other issue is that I need to think more about how to conduct the electricity-related experiments. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe I mean, up to now, I mean, almost everything that I use, I take from this apartment. I mean, there is a ton of junk over here, and there's a lot of junk that came from my apartment, and a lot of mess. And I always find all sort of old stuff. But maybe for a proper and safe experiment with electricity, I need to buy some, I mean, equipment. And so I will say plan my steps in that area. I don't want to to make too much mess in the building, and I'm under arrest here, so it's my arrest place. So I don't want to upset the jail too much. I mean, it's literally true. It's not funny at all. It's amazing that I'm under arrest for a thing that I didn't do more than 2 months now, and I don't see my daughters. But I've spoken about it a lot. These are all crimes against humanity from the state of Israel against me. Let's continue. So what I thought about is following the discussion today and the experimentation with light is that why not actually see, I mean, what's the maximum temperature that these neurons can stand? Because perhaps they can withstand a very high temperature, because, I mean, as I told you before, I was like Ben, you are only trained in the darkness. I was born in the darkness. I was born before there was light, but there should have been some kind of energy, and I guess that the most primitive form of energy, I guess, is heat. So maybe they can withstand heat quite well, but maybe not. Let's check this out. So what I'm going to do now is to prepare. It's a little complicated. What I'm going to do now is to prepare. These are Petri dishes made out of glass, but now these are Petri dishes from both sides. So I'll create one that's only from above, it's the Petri dish, but from below it's going to be a combination of clay, both natural and artificial, and wires, and metallic wires. So the idea would be that I'll be able to put it on a stove, on a portable stove. I'll do it, on a portable stove, and hopefully, the reason I don't want to do it with glass from both sides is that I don't know if the glass will stand it, and maybe although it's not very convenient to hold the glass, even of course with the how do you call this one? Anyway, it will be more convenient and I guess more safe if the part that's exposed to fire will be directly exposed to fire will be the clay. The only problem is that clay does not conduct heat very well. I've experienced with that. So it should be a thin level of clay, but not thin so it would be broken. So okay, you can ask, so why not make it metal? It's an option. I don't have like a lot of metal which could be used for this purpose. I have this box that I keep. I don't really have thin layers of metal that are easy. To cut. But maybe I'll try to figure out something. Maybe I will try to figure out something. Metal will be extremely heat conductive, which I don't know if it's good or bad. But experiments we should start to experiment. So the idea is to prepare such a device which is made out of clay and metal from below and glass from above, which should be completely sealed. We already know that the neurons don't need oxygen in order to work, because they work very well inside the freezer. In airtight bags. So and last time in these two box Petri dishes, and also the four that I prepared with all the contaminated materials that the Israelis in their good heart placed. You see, this is all the bad stuff. This is all this is like a biohazard lab that Israel is with water that are full with probably every germ and virus that you can think of. Yeah, Israel is they are really nice guys. They are, I'm a bchira, really. So the chosen people. So the idea is to make it now simpler. What I will put inside the Petri dish will be only, of course, the semen, a model of the germ that I want to replicate. It will be one of those. I guess we will start with the simple one, which is the worm, or maybe the ciliate. I don't know, one of them. So I'll prepare several of these, of course, and we will probably I'll try all of them, but I'll start with, the only question is, do I want the model to be painted on the clay, or perhaps use the neither clay, I mean, or do I want it to be like a 3D model using wire? I'll think about it. I think I tend to think more that I want I'm not sure. Maybe we'll try both. Maybe we'll try both and see what happens. And in addition, I'll put in just one more material, which will probably be silicone this time, because I want to see how they handle silicone. But of course, nothing. I mean, if they so choose, they can take the clay itself and use it as a building block. And then we put it on the stove and see what happens. I mean, we won't see much because in any case, I mean, we don't. I mean, it's not going to be under the microscope. But this is a limitation. I mean, not everything can be done under the microscope. But I'll put it for some time on fire and see if, I mean, if I see anything happening. And after some time, I will open it, and then I'll take suppose there will be some kind of goo inside. So I'll take a sample of the goo and put it under the microscope and see. Now the another advantage of this approach is that because we are putting it on the stove, it will certainly destroy any kind of germ that possibly already exists in there. So you will know for certain that the germs or viruses or either microbes that I show you are not are the work of the neros. Even though logic dictates that all of them that you already seen in my photographs are work of arts that are made by the neros, because it's impossible to find. First of all, they were huge. I mean, viruses and microbes are not that large. They were huge. And they were done in great scale. But second, it's impossible to find one virus or one microbe. It doesn't work that way. I mean, they generally either that you can find them because I mean it's like one fish in the ocean, or like in the culture that they multiply and then you have tons of them. So it's very improbable that even one of the many germs and viruses that you've seen in the many photographs that I uploaded today and the day before are actually germs or viruses, living or dead. With all probability, these are work of art, pictures or in paintings or sculptures that were made by the neros. But in any case, after we boiled everything. I mean, certainly everything that will survive this fewness will surely be not a real germ or a virus, but a kind of an imitation, which is a static work of art, or maybe not static, and this will be really cool. I mean, but let's keep our optimism checked. But of course, I mean, if we will be able to actually revive one of them, it will be amazing. So then we will have in our end a germ which is, or a microbe which is made out of silicone and heat resistant. At least we know that it will be heat resistant because it literally came out of fluence. And maybe you will have other. I mean, I'm sure that many laboratories will want to buy it from me just to run experiments on it. Or, but I say, that I keep my approach really laissez-faire on the matter of life and pseudo life. I say, the best thing is just to see what goes. I'm not saying releasing it to the wild. This should be done only with extreme care and after thought and planning, and of course that if we do it, we need to prepare several of these because we don't want him to be alone. And so it's not on the. Don't be worried. It's not that tomorrow morning I'm going to release like a ton of germs made out of silicone and heat resistance and who knows what more to the wild. It's not. I'm not irresponsible. I'm just saying it's like as I said, it's something on the horizon that we need to think about. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'll start work, and of course I'll update you as soon as I have something nice to show you.